The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
Though it's getting chilly outside, things have already heated up in the Mullins Center. And we promise you this edition of the UMass Sports Insider will kick things up another notch. Today we spotlight a key spark plug for the nationally ranked hockey team. That before meeting Bryce McAllister from football, who had a homecoming of his own in Storrs, Connecticut. Then the women's lacrosse team took their training up a notch with the help of the Marine Corps, while several coaches took an evening to promote their programs with some special entrees. Finally, we look back at a tremendous season for the UMass women's soccer program. All of this and more as the UMass Sports Insider starts now. Hello there and welcome into another episode of UMass Sports Insider. I'm your host, Josh Maurer. Thanks so much for being with us. Here we are at the Mullins Center where expectations were very high for the UMass hockey team entering this season, and thus far, Coach Carville's team has maybe even surpassed them. One of the biggest reasons for the great start is one of the smallest players, freshman Bobby Trevino, whose passion for the game begins at home with his family.
First pair of skates I still have, actually. They're hanging on my fireplace. They're about like this big. I remember putting them on and having my dad just glide me around on the ice. I remember watching games, watching my sister plays when, I decided that's something I would want to do. I could see how much fun she was having and, like how much work she put into it. So that kind of led me to follow the same path.
Trevino, backhander scores!
She's definitely the most hardest working person I know. Everything she does is at 100%, when it's in the weight room or, on the ice. I just saw her work her tail off, and I saw how successful she was from that. She's a great student, unbelievable hockey player and a great person.
Ben Barr and Bobby both played at Shattuck St. Mary's, so there's a connection there with the family. Ben knows the family well, so Bobby came in fairly early in the recruiting process once we got to campus. And I was told that he was a poor man's Johnny Gaudreau, and so that piqued my interest quickly. We weren't expecting him for another year, but he went out to USHL and he had over 40 points as a rookie. I saw him play early in the year and really liked what I saw. He's obviously a very gifted offensive player, but for being an undersized guy, he had an edge to his game. He's just real hockey savvy, really good hockey sense, and he's a gritty competitor.
From when I went to prep to juniors, I was more scared than anything. I was scared of the bigger players and how fast they'd play. But then when I went from juniors to college, I felt like I could do it. I felt more confident in my abilities, and I just kind of changed the way I started out things. I just dove right into it, just worked hard.
Yeah, he's proven a lot already. I think he knows he's got to continue to get stronger. As he gets stronger, he'll be even more effective.
It felt really good to score that first one. A lot of adrenaline, especially on the 4-on-4. But what felt best was winning that game, beating the #1 team and, coming together as a group and pulling through.
Hey, thanks so much, Bobby. We wish him and the rest of his teammates continued success in the early season as they continue to push that bar even higher. Well, let's now switch gears. We're going to move over to the gridiron where head coach Mark Whipple's team is nearing the end of its season. You're about to meet a graduate student transfer from a rival of UMass. You don't see too many players often come from UConn to UMass, but that's exactly what senior safety Bryce McAllister did this year. And as you can see for the Minutemen secondary, that transfer has been paying dividends.
So I decided to come to UMass really because of how close it was to my family back home. My parents, my grandparents being able to come to every game. And on top of that, just being able to get my master's from the Eisenberg School of Management, getting sports management has been amazing.
Bryce, we got word that he was going to join us last year was just a tremendous addition. Having Bryce enabled us to do that. He's an athletic guy, he's a mature guy, he's a leader, and he certainly adds a lot of athleticism to the secondary.
You know, the season's been fun. It's been fun to get back to this area, you know, play with guys I grew up with. Been able to have all my friends and family come to the game, so that's really been the best part of being back at UMass. That first game against Duquesne, man, it just felt like a relief. Like, you know, to get those 2 picks, a forced fumble, a couple of tackles, really just felt like people kept saying, you know, I had a big game, and that was what I was hoping for, and I'm happy I was able to do that.
I mean, it is important to have a guy who's mature. The maturity is they go into a game, they seldom get rattled. You know, they come in with a level of confidence that you see exhibited in somebody who's been around for a few years. And that's one of the things you notice about Bryce right from the start. We have several guys with a little experience, and they usually, week after week, they come to play. They're ready to go.
But my first impression when I first got here, those guys were, you know, they know how to compete, they know how to play. You know, I saw Isaiah's stats from last year, I saw Lee's stats from last year. I was excited. I was excited that I didn't have to come in and be really the older guy. Like, they already had a lot of playing experience, so that was a big part of it. You know, playing for Coach Penguin was great. You know, he brings energy every day. To practice the game. His game plan has always been great. You know, he has a lot of experience, so that helps along as well. He's coached some great guys like Bagger Workers, McCourty, and then, you know, he's been around the game for a while, so that's always a plus playing for a guy like him.
A human being. There's a little sparkle in his eye. Monday of game week, and he knew what was coming up, and you know, having played there, I think he wanted to show the people at Connecticut, you know, what they were missing. And I think he went into the game with a chip on his shoulder, and he certainly played that way, and I think he had a lot of fun. I know he has a lot of friends still there. He mentioned guys. I asked him earlier in the week, are you still in contact? Well, he said, oh yeah, every day.
I mean, that game against UConn, it meant a lot. I mean, before the season, I tried not to circle it, but it was circled. I mean, just being able to go back to the rent, you know, see those guys that I've been with for 3-4 years, it was a really emotional game. A lot of guys I used to play with, like my best friends Tony and Obi, and a couple guys like Andrew, they had hit me up before the game and just don't focus too much on it, just, you know, go out there and play the game, but have fun with it. So it was real exciting to get back to the rent and be able to play against those guys. That moment right there was just, everything was going through me. I took a knee, you know, there was all types of emotions running through me. I was excited, I was happy, it was just, I wish there was more fans there, because that would have been pretty cool if the rent was packed, but it was just a lot of emotions going through me at that moment.
Bryce has been an enormous addition to the secondary for UMass this season. As that season comes to an end, we wish him and the rest of his teammates success trying to finish on a strong note. Well, it's time for us to take a quick break here on UMass Sports Insider, but don't go far away. We are just getting going. On the other side, we go behind the scenes of what it's like to get some preseason training from, believe it or not, the Marines. Plus, see what our special culinary team cooked up for our hoops and hockey coaches as they spent an evening promoting their teams in one of the dining halls recently. Back in a flash.
This is the place where planets collide, where Pulitzer and Fulbright are full-time residents, where 28,000 brilliant young minds from 65 countries call home. This is the place that propels the state and lifts the world. UMass Amherst, this is the place.
The best of Las Vegas is coming to the heart of New England. This is a first.
Welcome back to UMass Sports Insider. We're going to move to a spring sport that recently went through a very unique off-season training program. You know, when you get through those, sometimes you need to spice things up a little bit. And for head coach Angela McMahon and the UMass Minute Women Lacrosse team, that's exactly what they did recently as they partnered up with, get this, the Marines. It was a training program unlike any we've seen in a long time at UMass that tested the full body and mind.
Today here at Garber Field, we ran the UMass women's lacrosse team through what we call our combat fitness test. So we brought a couple Marines in, we had 6 Marines in total, put the ladies through a combat fitness test. Combat fitness test is a test that Marines go through annually to assess and evaluate their physical fitness and their ability to perform in combat.
We got an amazing invitation to work with the Marine Corps today. I think right now for our team and being in the fall and working on the chemistry and our own physical fitness and mental toughness, I think it's a great time. You know, we're just really grateful that they were able to spend time with us this morning. I think our team really benefited from it.
Some of the activities that we did, we actually went through their fitness training, and so it involved like 3 different series. So we did an 800-meter run, we did ammo box over the head presses, and then we finished with their finale, kind of like a relay situation.
I love the different physical challenges that we saw that they had to perform in. I think it was great to get them to just push their boundaries and push past any limits that they put on themselves. I think it's just an amazing opportunity that we've had this morning, and just really happy that we're able to make this work.
Why do we bring this event to athletic teams? Put simply, there's a lot of takeaways that athletic teams can take from this particular workout and carry with them both onto the field and into the classroom. The takeaway that I gave the ladies today was that we need to perform when we're tired. And that's a mantra that the Marine Corps lives by. Very seldom are we going to be 100% when we're asked to perform, whether it's in combat or not. They're student athletes, so they have school to worry about and athletics to worry about, and then personal issues as well. So when it comes time to perform, whether that's in the classroom, on the field, or in a personal situation, they're going to be tired, but they need to perform anyways because people depend on them. They're student athletes and they're leaders in the community.
I think there's so many things that not only me, but us as a team can take away from an event like this. Obviously learning from the Marine Corps, they serve our country. There's just so much respect that we have, obviously, and the grit that they have and the work that they put in. That's something that we really want to carry into our season, as well as the leadership. The leadership that they all have, I think, is something that we're really focusing on for our upcoming year.
I think it's twofold. I think it's, pushing ourselves individually within our own limits and really getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's one of the key things in any aspect, is you got to work through challenges and adversity and things that maybe you think you can't do. And then on the other side of it is doing that collectively as a group. So it's pushing our group limits and having everybody on the same page with pushing each other so that we get better each and every day that we're coming out here, whether it's on the field, off the field, in school, out in the community, being leaders. We're just trying to be consistent in everything that we're doing, and in order to perform on a day like this, you really have to step up and have leaders and be consistent.
The UMass women's lacrosse team did excellent. They brought a lot of motivation. I talked to their head coach and told them they have a good thing going. We call it esprit de corps. They probably just call it team spirit, but they did very good. They brought the motivation, they cheered each other on. I think they got a good workout out of it, and they got a good takeaway as well.
Absolutely no one better to get you ready for a season than the Marine Corps. We thank them for their help in all that they do. Okay, so you're a student athlete, and after you go through a training regimen like that, what do? Well, you go to the dining hall, of course. We have one of the best dining services staffs in the nation here at UMass, and recently they invited our basketball and hockey coaches to get ready for the start of the winter sports seasons at a very special night at the Berkshire Dining Common. Let's see what tasty concoctions our dining services staff was able to come up with.
This is a great event. Alan Pandiani and his sales and marketing team came up with this, and it's a great event to loosen the tie after a long work day, have our coaches and staff here have a DJ and get some food organized for these students and get them excited about the winter season ahead.
Well, I think it's great. First of all, you know, we got the #1 dining facility in the country, and the amount of students that come through here each and every night, you can see how packed it is. It gives us an opportunity to interact and hand out some schedule cards and really get the focus shifted towards basketball season and get some awareness to get some people in Mullins Center.
I really enjoy doing this. We did it last year, and they let me run the cash register, and so I get to interact with every kid that comes through and have a little small talk and get them excited about the hockey team. I really enjoy it.
It's good to have our coaches interface with our students. You know, we need our students. When they're lively and engaged and at our venues, it makes a huge difference. A home ice, home court advantage, and going into the winter season, we're going to need them. We've got some great winter sports ahead of us, seasons ahead of us, and we're excited to get the students engaged. It's good for them. I think when they get to see Coach Carville and Coach Verdi and Coach McCall, it humanizes them a little bit in a way that, and our student athletes for that matter, that they get to see every day. But to see them interact with their coach is pretty neat, and to get into the community, campus community here, and serve them food and tell them how much we appreciate their support. There's not many nights like this that we get a chance to do this, so it's pretty special.
Well, I just think it gives me a chance to interact with the students. You know, over in the Champion Center, obviously we're so focused on practice and preparing our team. This really gives me a chance to interact and bring some awareness to our team and our program. And again, you know, when you have a student section that gets behind your basketball program, no different than hockey or women's basketball or football, it helps. And that's the goal here tonight is to interact, bring awareness to the season, and get as many fans in Mullins as we possibly can.
I've got my name on some kind of food, which I haven't seen yet. I think some kind of chicken, so I'll check it out. But it seems to be a very popular event. Lots of kids coming through, and it's fun to see the smile on their faces and have them congratulate us for the start of the season we had. So I enjoy it.
I tried all the dishes, and I have to tell you that the BAM slider that they made in my honor was probably the least eaten item of the four. Coach McCall's 2 dips were really good. Coach Verdi's tater tots were excellent. I think the winner, though, was Coach Carville's chicken bits. Really good, had a good ranch sauce on them. Those were probably the winner of the evening.
Been too busy working. Bamford's the one that was trying everything because he wasn't back there serving, but I was trying to do my job, and you know, if the coaching thing doesn't work out, I think I found a second career. The buffalo dip, no question, not even close.
Well, I've heard a lot that fortunately the most popular dish is mine, the chicken covered ranch, and I heard Bamford's came in a distant last place. So I'm sorry to Ryan, but I'll take the trophy this year.
I'm telling you, it's some of the best dining hall food you'll find at any college anywhere in the country, and we thank the dining services staff here at UMass for involving our winter sports coaches and helping them get ready to start their seasons. Time to break. We're going to be back in a few minutes here on UMass Sports Insider with a look back at the 2018 women's soccer campaign, one that was one of the best years in a decade and brings a brighter future on the horizon for the Minute Women. We'll be right back.
Three first-quarter touchdowns for UMass. Jesse Brent hauls it in.
Inside the 10, 5, touchdown. First of his career, Bilal Ali.
Looking, McLean caught into the lane and dunked it in! Pitkins got it back, and Pitkins puts it in!
UMass come back the other way. Here comes Hampton Bay getting the foul.
Layup is good.
Hampton Bay comes up with it. Wide open from the corner. It's McCormick for the win. It's good!
out front shot, score!
Welcome back to UMass Sports Insider. We are inside at the Mullen Center, but recently outside at Red Field, the women's soccer campaign came to its conclusion. When head coach Jason Dowiak took over that program last offseason, he knew he was inheriting some talented players. Well, Coach Dowiak, along with his staff and a very special group of seniors, helped put together one of the best campaigns for UMass women's soccer in many years.
My coaching style is based around the style of the game that I've always been a fan of, and that's maintaining possession, keeping the ball, and moving our opponent in ways that allows us to be dangerous and our opponents to be unsettled.
This year's meant everything, honestly. I haven't made it, well, collectively my class hasn't made it in the 3 years. So this year was big for us to make it to A10s.
I got really lucky that players that can understand the game tactically and have a lot of comfort on the ball. We started looking at some different things that we felt our personnel fit well for us. We changed our system from what I had kind of initially anticipated using in a 4-3-3, and we changed over to a 3-5-2, and the personnel and players just really bought into the ideas.
It was just so surreal that we did make it and we knew ahead of time, but we still wanted to produce, and it was never like a laid back feeling of, oh, we're in, we can relax now. We still wanted to win. We're super competitive, so we weren't by any means just going to let teams walk over us.
I think we continue to exceed certain expectations for how new we are with each other, but that's been the exciting part, is that they fit our staff's mentality and approach to not just how we play, but how we learn and grow every day too.
That was a goal we set, to have at least 17 shutouts, and although we didn't hit 17 shutouts, we were pretty close, and we were very goal-oriented in that, and making sure teams didn't score on us and that they knew that it was going to be a hard time for them to score on us. The group coming in was very hard-working and goal-oriented as well, and they wanted to win.
This group is just special, and we've enjoyed every day that we get to step on the field. And when you have a group of players that wants to learn and wants to invest time and wants to do extra work, the wins are kind of the end result, which is great. Sad to see the seniors go and know that we're going to have a great relationship with in the future, but it's about the next phase, and we got to evolve. The mentality really was we got to do this together, and losses are a team loss and wins are a team win. And I think that's why we're in the position we are now to move forward in a real positive direction.
Congratulations to Coach Dowiak and the Minute Women. Simply put, one of the best success stories to come out of UMass athletics this fall. It was great to see some records approached that had not been touched in a decade, and in some cases, 2 or 3. Hey, it's time for our final break here on this episode of UMass Sports Insider. It's lighter side time when we come back, featuring one of our favorite topics, dad jokes. Sure to make you groan on the inside when we come back.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
welcome back. It's the end of the show, and that means it's time for the lighter side. Well, according to some people, there is no better form of comedy than a dad joke. So we decided to delve into that brand of humor and ask some of our student athletes to tell each other some of the best dad jokes that the internet had to offer.
How's it going, UMass fans? I'm Mario Ferraro.
I'm John Leonard.
Hi, I'm Eric Pauls.
I'm Ryan Pedrick.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Natalie.
Hi, I'm Destiny Philoxy, and this is
Hanny.
And this is
Dad Jokes.
Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? It was too tired.
I thought about going on an all-almond diet, but that's just nuts.
How many apples grow on a tree?
0.
All of them.
I just watched a program about beavers. It was the best damn program that I haven't seen.
Dad, did you get a haircut?
No, I got them all cut. I think I drooled on the floor. That one was good. That was good.
Two goldfish are in a tank. One says to the other, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
Want to hear a joke about construction?
Sure.
I'm still working on it.
why did the Scarecrow win an award?
No idea.
Because he was an outstanding in his field.
That's bad. That was bad.
I'm very proud to take this win over Eric today. I'm very proud. I've worked so hard to get here. Thank you, everybody.
I knew it from the beginning that I was going to win, so. You see?
See you next time on Dad Jokes.
Comedy gold there, Jerry. Comedy gold. I don't know if the laughter was for the actual jokes themselves or for the delivery from our student athletes. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of UMass Sports Insider. Thanks so much for being with us. Good luck to the basketball teams, the men's and women's squads at UMass as they get their seasons underway. I'm Josh Maurer. We'll see you right back here for another edition of UMass Sports Insider next time.